When I arrived at Onomichi, it was a little gloomy, with overcast clouds and little droplets of rain falling from the sky. It was not quite what I imagined Onomichi to be like, the town known for its nostalgic summer vibes. But it had its charm nonetheless. I checked into this cozy little guest house that looked straight out of a Ghibli movie. The wooden interior and the warm lighting gave it a kind of magical, whimsical vibes. I got the upper bunk and I put my belongings down before heading out to explore the area. It was approaching blue hour by the time I got outside. With most of the shops closing, I decided to wander off to the Bay Area. Shrouded in the melancholy of the blue hour, there was something healing about the waters of Onomichi. With the sea breeze blowing straight at me, I just sat there, taking in the moment. In that brief moment, all my worries went away. Even as darkness crept in, I lingered a little while longer, just letting the fact that I'm now alone here in Onomichi sink in. That was when I spotted a little friend. I named her Neko-chan. I spent a little time with her and her company was so comforting. Thank you, Neko-chan. This encounter got me excited for my visit to Cat Alley the next day. The next morning, I started my day with a stop at Lawson to grab breakfast. There were tables and benches placed conveniently outside the konbini for you to enjoy your snack haul. While eating, I caught a glimpse of my destination for today. Yup, it's up there. I'm headed for Senkoji. There are two ways out, one on foot and the other through the ropeway. Of course, I took the ropeway. Once up there, you'll be greeted by the artistic-looking Senkoji Park observation deck. There, you can get an amazing view of the Onomichi Channel. I took a moment to admire the beauty of this town, seen from all the way up here, before starting my mini hike down. It was a bit of a walk in nature as I headed for Senkoji Temple. On my way down, I passed by this stretch of road known as the Path of Literature, lined with curated haikus. Unfortunately, my Japanese proficiency is that of a kindergarten kid at best. As I approached the temple, I could hear the almost magical jingling of the wind chimes. One of the first things you'll see as you enter the premise of Senkoji Temple are the dozens of wind chimes that you heard on your way here. It was quite a hypnotizing sight. The temple is perhaps Onomichi's most iconic landmark, but I won't say there are many things to do here. The hike down was scenic and enjoyable though. I admired the sights of the temple a little longer before continuing my journey down, as I was melting from the sheer summer heat. I ended up at Café Miharashi Tei for a brief pit stop where I got myself a much needed iced drink. The cafe had a quaint, traditional look with its own modern twist. I snacked on a lemon chocolate pound cake and a glass of orange juice. Feeling recharged and cooled down, I began my journey to my next destination, Cat Alley, to find more Neko-chans. As the name suggests, it was this narrow alley with lots of cat-themed decorations such as graffiti or even stone paintings. I stumbled upon what I assumed to be a cat shrine. There lay two absolutely adorable cats, sleeping under the shade, escaping from the sweltering heat. Unfortunately, as I would soon learn, those were the only two cats I would see in Cat Alley. What I did pass by were some shops that looked to be abandoned or yet to be refurbished. The whole place felt kinda eerie, yet whimsical, not gonna lie. It was as though a talking cat might suddenly just appear before me. Look, there are even cat paintings on the steps. Love it. As I made my way out of the alley, I also ended my descent from Mount Senkoji. And one thing I love about Japan is that there is a vending machine basically every 3 steps. This iced tea that I got saved my dehydrating life. The next day, I set out to just walk around Onomichi, capturing some sights I thought was nice, and to visit some vibey looking cafes. Before that, can we just take a moment to appreciate just how beautiful the guest house is when the morning sun comes shining through into the building. I love this place. I love Onomichi. I got myself a bottle of green tea from the vending machine, and here's to another day of exploration. Since it was a little early, I headed to the bay first, just to stare into the sea once again. But this time, this was exactly how I imagined Onomichi to be like in the summer. Where the sun is sunning, the breeze is breezing. It felt nice. I could feel the vastness and vibrancy of life as I looked into the distance like that. After acting like the main character of a movie for a while, it was about time the cafe started opening too, and so off I went. I first went to this cafe seated right next to the railway called Café. Yup, I think that's what it's called. The entrance to the cafe had a little curvy staircase that passed right under the train tracks. Oh, I'm already loving this place. I ordered a sweet potato topped with brulee custard and a bowl of chocolate shaved ice. The sweet potato was so soft and smooth, it was so good. I can see why this is the hottest thing on the menu. And the shaved ice was just perfect for when the sun is sunning. The view and vibe were great too if you haven't yet realized. I then went further up, then down, or sideways on Mount Senkoji and arrived at the next cafe. This one is a little more tucked away, but it was well worth the walk. This is Hanutei, a little matcha cafe. On top of the absolutely delicious snack that they have, it is well known for its serene atmosphere with a window overlooking the Onomichi Channel. It was really peaceful. Time slows down here. You need to come. Next thing I really wanted to do was to catch a shot of the iconic yellow train passing by on the train track. I was not sure how long it is in between each yellow train, but I was so glad I did not end up waiting too long. Now the last thing left on this trip was to visit Ikuchi-jima, an island off the coast of Onomichi. I took this adorable looking yellow ferry and arrived at the island in about 30 minutes. This place felt like a hidden gem, tucked away but quietly existing, with some of the most interesting sights I've seen. I started off by devouring a huge plate of curry rice paired with a refreshing glass of orange juice float. Then I headed to Kosanji, a temple that stood a massive statue of Buddha. Not sure if you can tell from the video, but it was massive, like 15 meters massive. The main attraction I was looking forward to here though was the Hill of Hope. It is a white marble garden designed by sculptor Ito Kuetani. It was made from marble imported from Italy and took more than 15 years to complete. The result was an absolutely surreal looking piece of art. Though the place holds no religious significance, the feeling you get when climbing up the marble steps towards the summit was just otherworldly. The whole place looked like the boss area of a video game. On my way out, I stumbled upon yet another place of interest in the temple, the Cave of 1,000 Buddhas. I couldn't find much information, if any at all, about this cave, but it was one of the coolest places I've been to. The dim lighting highlighting the features of each Buddha sculpture, paired with the sounds of running water, just transported me to another world. It was really cooling in here too, which made it all the more enjoyable to take a walk through. I did not personally count the number of Buddha statues in here, but going by the name of the place, I would reckon that there are 1,000 of them in here. Absolutely in awe. The peace and quiet of Ikuchi-jima was even more obvious when night came. I took a trip to Family Mart to grab water, Even that felt like scenes of a movie playing out. The empty streets had me feeling my existence just that little bit more. The darkness of the night made any sources of light that much more charming. In a night like this, beauty became even more obvious even in everyday objects. This became my favorite shot of this trip. The blue glow from the vending machine perfectly captured the solitude that I felt that night. On my way back to my accoms, I saw a couple walking on the streets, bathed in the warm orange tint of the street lamps. They loved unapologetically. They loved loudly. It was as if there were nobody else in the world but them. It was beautiful. Beauty is not just in the environment. It is also in our very own human nature. I found so much beauty in Ikuchi-jima. And as the night grew quieter, it also signified the end of my trip in Onomichi.
Better forget about me now.